You're listening to episode 5 of the Dear Crochetpreneur podcast with psychotherapist and crochet designer turned crochet business coach and your biggest cheerleader, Pam Grice. Well, hello there, crochet CEOs. Welcome to the Dear Crochetpreneur podcast. I am Pam Grice, and I'm here to help you turn yarn into money with therapy for your crochet business. Today's question is brought to us by Tiffany from Crafty Cub Crochet. She asks, when you're set up at a craft fair, do you sit in a chair behind your booth or table, or do you walk to the other side and mingle? This is a question that we get a lot, and I'll tell you what, there's no one set answer because every customer is different. And so a lot of times craft fair coaches will tell you get out in front of your booth so that you can mingle with your customers. And honestly, sometimes that doesn't work because not every customer is wired the same way. So my first suggestion is do what feels right for you. You know, you have to run your business in a way that fits for your personality. For me, I don't like to be out in front and mingle. I am an introvert and I sit behind or in a little open space in my booth, but not right out in front. And I'll typically be working on a project as customers come in, and I'll just simply welcome them to the booth and say, let me know if you have any questions. And so that's the simple answer. Do what fits for you and what you feel like fits for your customer base. The more complex answer is we need to learn to read our customers. We need to understand how their personalities work and what would help them come to a decision to make a purchase in our booth. How do we do that? Well, first, like I mentioned, you need to recognize, is this customer an introvert or are they an extrovert? Introverts want to be left alone. They like to process things in their head. They don't want you to chase them out of their booth by asking them a lot of questions, chit-chatting with them, and that kind of thing. So you can read people's body language and see, are they an introvert? Are they an extrovert? Do they even look at you when they walk in your booth? Introverts may or may not look you in the eye when they walk in your booth. They may ignore the fact that you're even there and just do their own thing. And if that's who they are, again, you can just say, welcome in, let me know if you have any questions, and then leave them alone, and they'll be happiest. Extroverts, on the other hand, will typically smile, start a conversation with you, and you can recognize, okay, this is an extrovert, they want to chat with me, and then you can step up out of your booth and chat with them. Neither an extrovert or an introvert is more likely or less likely to buy from you. Just operate out of what makes them feel comfortable, and they're more likely not to get scared away and more likely to make a purchase. And that's the mid-level approach of reading your customers. First, be yourself. Second, read is your customer an introvert or extrovert. And then finally, the more complex way of working with your customers is to understand the 4 personality types of buyers. So those 4 personality types are drivers, analysts, amiables, and expressives. So the first 2 types, the drivers and analysts, they're more task-oriented. And we'll get a little bit deeper into those in just a moment. Amiables and expressives, they're more people-oriented. So you're going to approach these different kinds of customers in different ways. So let's take a look at their personalities, at what drives them, and how to work with them. Drivers. Drivers are going to be your more dominant, more task-oriented customers, those people who like to make quick decisions. They don't want a lot of chit-chat. They just want to come in your booth, look for what they're looking for, and if they find it, they'll buy it, and if they don't, they're going to leave. These customers may seem aloof, they might seem harsh or even rude, but don't take this personally. This is their personality. They are likely to be, corporate executives or not. They might be stay-at-home moms. Those moms who just have it together, they know what they want, and they do what they need to do to get things done. So how to work with them is that you'll try and help them find what they're looking for. Don't small talk to them. Just point them in the right direction and then let them make their decision. So you can say, are you looking for anything in particular? And they'll tell you what they're looking for. If you have it, then say, oh, we have that right over here. And if you don't try to sell them something different because they know what they want. The best way to deal with customer service with drivers is to point them into the direction of what they're looking for. So if you know someone else at the craft fair has that item, point them in that direction, and their loyalty will actually be to you because they'll remember that you helped them find exactly what they were looking for in a selfless way. So that's how you would deal with the driver customer. Next is the analyst. The analyst is the person who wants to get it right every time. They're looking for quality. They don't want to be rushed. They tend to be perfectionists and they tend to be critical. And all of this means they're going to take forever to make their decision. So they're going to want to figure everything out for themselves. They don't want you to tell them about your product. They want to ask you about your product. They'll prefer to ask you questions and let you answer them. So you're not trying to sell to these people. They're going to ask you questions. You'll recognize them because as soon as they come in your booth, they're going to start asking questions. If you start trying to sell to them, they're just going to turn you out and they'll probably leave. The way that you work with these customers is that you be patient. You understand that the process is going to take some time and you have a detailed knowledge of your products. They're going to ask you, what's the yarn content? Where was this yarn manufactured? Will this fit such a size person? Or, all sorts of questions about your products they're going to ask you. So be prepared with answers for the analyst. And if you can answer their questions, you'll help them make their decisions and to make a decision a little more quickly than they would if you just left them to their own devices to analyze every little thing about your product. You're going to want to engage them, but engage in a way that you're answering their questions in a very kind and patient way. The next customer type is amiables. Now, amiables are friendly, they're outgoing, they might be a little absent-minded, a little flitting around from here to there. They're looking at all of the things on your table and they're excited. These people want to build a connection with you. They're going to be chit-chatty, but they're also going to have a hard time making a decision. The way that you're going to work with amiable people is to act as their personal shopper. Get out from behind your booth, help them try on things, tell them they look cute, or, just reassure them that they're making the right decision. They like when you ask them questions. Ask them, who are you purchasing for? Or where are you going to wear this item? Tell me a little bit about the person you're purchasing for. And share with them the benefits of your products. Remember, when you're building a product line, you're focusing on the benefits. What problems are you solving? So be sure to share those with the amiable person. It will help them make the decision. And again, reassure them that they've made the right decision. If they're purchasing a gift, say, oh my gosh, I know they're going to love this. Or my husband's really good at working with amiables because he's my best salesman in my craft fair booth. He'll tell them, this looks great on you. Here, he'll invite your friends over and say, doesn't she look great in this? And that kind of thing. And that really helps the amiable person feel like they're making the right decision. And that's the most important thing to them, is that they know they're making the right decision because they often question their own decision-making process. And finally, we have expressives. Now, you are going to know an expressive as soon as she enters your craft fair booth. She will be full of energy. She's going to be looking for attention. She'll probably be surrounded by her posse of friends, and she's just going to be super excited. And I love when these customers come in my booth because oftentimes when she makes a purchase, all of her friends make a purchase as well. So she's like the leader of the gang. Expressives can tend to lack focus, so you may have to keep them on track. Otherwise, they're just going to try on everything in your booth and be super excited and not make a decision. So help them. If you feel like they're getting close to a decision, then guide them over towards your booth and take a payment, or else they're going to get distracted. Oftentimes, they purchase based on intuition and almost nothing else. So if they feel like they look cute or they feel like they want this, they're going to purchase it. This is the ultimate people person. They will listen as well as talk. So create a connection with them. And really what they want to do is walk away with a new friend as well as a new product. So for me, these are some of my favorite customers. They turn into long-term customers because they feel a connection with you. And so these are the people you're definitely going to want to get out from behind your booth. talk to them, ask them questions, find that connecting source, the thing that you have in common that you can connect about. And these people also really, really like social proof. Again, if their friends are saying that they like it, they'll be more likely to like it, and vice versa. Having some social proof in your booth is really helpful. So a printout of some of your reviews, or, like your 5-star reviews on Etsy or anything like that, to help them see that other people like your product, so they're going to like your product as well. With these people, again, be prepared to connect, be empathetic, and guide them toward their purchase. They're going to be really excited to buy something. So those are our 4 types of customers: drivers, analysts, amiables, and expressives. If you can go into every craft fair, or for designers, each engagement you have with your customers, and have a plan for speaking first to your ideal customer and then making adjustments as needed based on who it is that you're speaking to, you're going to find that you make more sales and you have more conversions. Ultimately, flexibility is the key, and speaking your customer's language goes much deeper than whether you're sitting or standing in your booth. I hope this helps you learn how to read your customers, engage with them in a way that makes them feel welcome in your booth, and ultimately helps you make more sales. I have a chart in episode 5's show notes at crochetpreneur.com/5, where you can see more visually how these personality types operate, along with the downloadable planner page that you can add to your craft fair planner, your homemade business binder, or any notebook that you use as you plan for your fairs, and it'll help you prepare for each of these types of customers during your next busy craft fair season. I know these tips are going to help you make it the best season yet. That's it for today. Be sure to get your printable handmade business binder when you go to crochetpreneur.com/binder. And never miss an episode when you subscribe to the Dear Crochetpreneur podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcast listening platform. If you'd like your crochet business to be featured on an upcoming episode, be sure to go to crochetpreneur.com/questions and submit your question. I want to thank you for tuning in today. It means so much to me that you'd spend some time hanging out, and I can't wait to do it again next time. Until then, I'm cheering you on.